Hi guys! Okay, so ang topic natin today is about rectilinear motion with variable acceleration. So in this case, erratic na yung motion, no, ng particle natin, no. So hindi na definite, no, yung movement niya, yung motion niya. So pabago-bago na siya with respect to time t. So ang ginagamit naman natin ditong relationship is yung mga following equation na nakikita niyo sa screen. Okay, so we were able to discuss this one last time. So ngayon balikan lang natin, no. So number one, first relationship is that the instantaneous velocity is equal to the first derivative, no, nung position equation, no, with respect to time t, or ds over dt. Next is the instantaneous acceleration is equal to the derivative, no, of the velocity equation with respect to time t. And then the third equation is that sabi dito vdv is equal to ads, no? So recall that this one is actually derivable when we try to divide, no, yung equation 1 and then equation 2. So pag dinivide mo yan, we will arrive with v over a is equal to ds over dv. So cross multiplying, no, makuha na natin to. Okay? So commonly, no, yung motion ng particle natin is ini-express natin siya as a function of time t. So we might express, no, yung position niya as a function of time t. Pwede tayong doon nagsisimula. Or we can start with the velocity equation. Now we define the velocity as a function of time t. Pwede yun. Or pwede naman, ang ginagawa is we start with the acceleration. No? So we define the acceleration as a function of time t. So anyways, either of the three na sinabi ko, so we can directly use yung any of the three equations na yan, no? Whichever is yung suitable. So for us to have a better understanding, no, let us try na lang, no, to apply yung concept, no, and then yung formula doon sa ating sample problems. Okay, so let's start with situation 8, no? So sabi dito, a car moves in a straight line such that for a short time its velocity is defined by v is equal to 3t squared plus 2t, where t is in seconds. So question is determine the distance traveled when t is equal to 3 seconds, and then determine the acceleration, okay, when t is equal to 3 seconds. So as you can see, yung define dito, guys, is yung velocity ng particle, no, at any time t. So it is defined that the velocity daw is equal to 3t squared plus 2t. Okay? So before we start, no, since madali lang to, so maging extra careful lang tayo, no, lalo na dun sa statement ng problem. Ang sinasabi kasi dito, determine the distance traveled. So kindly recall na last time, 'di ba, nagkaroon tayo ng discussion sa pagkakaiba ng distance and then displacement. Okay, so I think na-discuss ko to sa unang-unang video natin dito sa dynamics. So di ba sabi natin, distance is equal to displacement if the particle, let's say for example, ito yung particle, is moving, no, in one direction alone. So kapag in isang direction lang yung movement niya, no, kahit erratic pa yan, basta isang direction lang. Okay, so yan ba, ito yung endpoint niya. So yan, distance is equal to displacement. So bakit ko hina-highlight ito, guys? Hina-highlight ko to kasi etong three relationships na to, or yung mga S na nakikita mo dyan, okay, ang nasa-solve kasi dyan is yung displacement. Okay? So kapag nag-evaluate tayo ng mga equation na yan, ang nakukuha natin is yung displacement. Okay lang? So kapag ang tinatanong is distance, no, may ibang no, may special approach para sa kanya. No, pag ang tinatanong is yung total distance, okay, or yung distance traveled, may ibang approach na ginagawa sa kanya. Pero kapag katulad nito na ang distance ay equal to displacement, So we can say na ang tinatanong na lang dito is yung displacement niya. No? Determine the displacement when t is equal to 3 seconds. Yun ay kung yung particle is moving in one direction. So meaning to say, we can use yung equations kanina para ma-solve yung distance. Kasi nga pares na siya sa displacement. Okay, so sana gets yan guys. So, kailan nagkakaroon ng special approach, no? Kailan nagkakaroon ng ibang solution for distance? So, dito 'yon, guys, no? Kapag ang distance ay hindi na equal sa displacement. No, kapag ang distance ay hindi na equal sa displacement, no, we cannot directly use yung equations na pinakita ko kanina. Hindi siya pwedeng gamitin directly para ma-solve ang distance. Okay? So, kailan siya hindi nagiging equal? Kapag yung particle is nagkakaroon na ng change ng direction ng motion. So, let's say for example, if the initial motion is towards to the right, and then at certain time t, umatras siya, bumalik siya. So, nandito na yung final position niya, no? So, ito yung lumalabas na distance. Ito yung lumalabas na displacement. Okay? So, kapag ginamit natin yung equations, no, directly, ang nakukuha natin, displacement. So, kung paano kunin yung distance, so later papakita ko siya, no, kapag naka-encounter tayo ng ganyang type ng problem, no, yung bumabalik or nagbabago yung direction ng motion. Okay, so how do we know na umaatras siya or nagkakaroon siya ng change in motion? Kasi possibly yung first condition is umaabante siya. Okay, and then at certain time t umatras siya. So yun yung first scenario. Another scenario is pwede naman umaatras na siya initially, tapos at certain time t umabante naman siya. So still nagkaroon ng change in direction. So how do we know na nagkakaroon siya ng change in direction ng motion? So simple lang yan, guys, no? We just have to evaluate the velocity equation. Kasi nga yung velocity equations or velocity equation rather defines, no, yung velocity niya. So 'di ba sinasabi natin na kapag yung velocity is positive, umaabante, no, moving forward. Ngayon, kapag yung velocity is naging negative, meaning to say umaatras na siya, no, may backward motion. So ganun lang natin siya i-check, no? We just have to check yung velocity equation. In this case kasi given siya. So yung velocity is defined as 3t squared plus 2t. So how do we evaluate? So you will just have to substitute, no, any time t dito sa equation na to. And then check kung nagkakaroon ba siya ng change ng sign. Okay? So let's say for example, t is equal to 0. So, velocity is equal to 0. Okay? Let's say for example, t is equal to 1. So, as you can see, so 3 times 1 plus 2 times 1, that is, I think, 5. So, velocity equal to 5. So, positive. So, kahit wag mo na kunin yung numerical value, try mo na lang evaluate. So, as you can see, when we substitute t is equal to 2, positive pa rin lalabas dyan. And so on. No? Anytime t na i-substitute mo dyan, magiging positive. Meaning to say, we can say that yung particle na dinedefine neto is just moving in one direction. Okay, so kailan natin may encounter yung time na umaatras o nagkakaroon ng change in motion? So kadalasan yan, class, is nangyayari, no, if we have yung velocity equation na mayroong negative sign. Okay, dito kasi puro positive, no? Each term puro positive. So, automatically, talagang positive lang lalabas na velocity dyan. So, kapag tayo is nakakita ng velocity equation, let's say for example, negative 3t squared plus 2t. So, yun, no, there is a possibility na there will be such time na magkakaroon ng ng negative na velocity. So, nag-guess nyo ba ako, guys? Okay? So, later on, makaka-encounter tayo nun kasi sinadya ko na yung next sample problem natin is ganun yung idea. But for this scenario, so velocity is positive all throughout time t, so distance is equal to displacement. So we can directly use yung equations kanina. Okay, so how do we solve for the displacement or yung distance? So sabi natin, di ba? Yung v is ds over dt lang din, di ba? That's the relationship. So 3t squared and then plus 2t. So what we need to do is to just cross multiply. So ds now is equal to 3t squared plus 2t and then dt. So what we need to do is to just integrate both sides, no? And then we start from 0 and then lagay natin, no, up to what time ba yung tinatanong? Time 3. Time is equal to 3, no? So 0 to 3. Okay? So dito lagyan lang natin no, yung total displacement. Okay? From initial point to final point. So pwedeng ganyan na lang. Okay? So evaluating the integral, so that is what? S is equal to what now? So you can solve that manually. Okay, pero ako utilize ko na lang yung calculator ko since dapat master mo naman na yung calculus, no? So hindi ko na siya i-highlight dito. So integrating from 0 to 3, so lalabas that is 36 and then this must be in meters. Okay, so ganun lang siya, guys. Next, so this one is what? Number 20, no? So next is tinatanong, determine the acceleration when time is equal to 3 seconds. So how do we solve naman yung acceleration? So recall that acceleration is, ano naman to, guys? The derivative, no? First derivative of the velocity equation, no, with respect to time t. So that is dv over dt. Okay? So we have v is equal to, lagay lang ulit natin, 3t squared and then plus 2t. So we will just have to take the first derivative, no? So therefore, dv over dt, which is equal to a, ay equal sa, so which is, equal sa to, guys? So 6t and then plus 2. So therefore, the acceleration ngayon can be defined as this equation. So 60 plus 2. Okay, so yun yung equation relating yung acceleration and then yung time t. So tinatanong at t is equal to 3. So therefore, substitute lang natin yung 3. So I think this one is what? 20. So therefore, the unit must be in meters per second squared. So ganun lang siya, guys, no? So ito yung sagot natin. Gets ba yun? So sometimes, no, we integrate, sometimes we differentiate. Depende dun sa given na equation. So 36 saka 20. So yan, no, tama. Okay, gets ba yun, guys? Okay, so now let us proceed with our next sample problem. So itong sample problem na to, no, ito na yung last sample problem natin para dito. So kunin ko lang, guys. Okay? So, ayun, guys, situation 9. So sabi dito, the position of a particle along a straight line path is defined by s is equal to t cubed minus 60 squared minus 15t plus 7 in feet, no, where t is in seconds. So maraming tinatanong, guys, no? First is determine the particle's instantaneous velocity when t is equal to 10 seconds. Determine the particle's acceleration when t is equal to 10 seconds. Calculate the particle's displacement when t is equal to 10 seconds. Determine the particle's total distance traveled. So, bakit kaya hinighlight no, na magkahiwala yung displacement saka yung distance? Okay? And the next is calculate the particle's average speed. And then calculate the particle's average velocity. Okay? So, bakit pinag-highlight na ulit na magkaiba yung speed saka velocity? Okay? So, what is given here, no, is yung position equation. So, the position daw ng particle is expressed no, in terms of time t as t cubed minus 6t squared minus 15t plus 7. So, kindly take note na sinabi na et daw is position. Okay? Kasi baka nasanay ka na yung s defined or is defined as the displacement. Okay? Okay. So, ang sinasabi dito, class, yun nga, yung S is position, ha? Hindi siya yung displacement. Kasi magkaiba yun, di ba? Yung displacement kasi is defined as the change in position. Okay? How much ba siya nag-change ng position? Okay? So, hina-highlight ko lang yung term. Kasi, kapag ang gagawin mo dito, no, if you will try to solve, let's say for example, yung number 24. So, which is, sige, later na natin sagutan yan, no? Let's start muna with, 22. Ayan, 22 muna tayo, guys. Tinatanong is yung velocity. So, later na natin yun. Kalimutan nyo muna yung sinasabi ko, no? But, eto, tandaan nyo lang na yung dinedefine nga neto is position. So, how do we solve muna yung number 22? Which is asking for the instantaneous velocity. So, recall that velocity is equal to ds over dt. So, what we need to do is just to take the first derivative of the given equation. Okay? So, therefore, ds over dt, which is equal to velocity, ay equal sa, so that is 3t squared minus 12t, then minus 15. Okay? So, meaning to say that the velocity is, pwede natin siyang i-express in terms of time t as 3t squared minus 12t minus 15. Okay? So, therefore, at t is equal to 10 seconds. Okay, so palit mo lang yung 10 dyan, guys, no? Okay, so ilan yung velocity, instantaneous velocity? So that is 165 feet per second. Okay? So next, number 23. Tinatanong yung particle's acceleration. So, we know that the acceleration is what? dv over dt. So, we already have yung velocity equation. No? We just have to take its derivative. So, therefore, a now is equal to, so direct ko na to, guys, magiging 60 minus 12. So, tapos na. No? Dito lang tayo nagtingin. 60 minus 12. Okay, so therefore, ang tinatanong, at time is equal to 10, what is the acceleration? So, that is 6 times 10 minus 12. So, I think this one is 48. And then the unit must be in feet per second squared. Okay? So, check muna natin kung tama tayo, no? So, for 22, we are correct. For 23, we are correct. So, dito tayo sa particles displacement. Okay? So, kunin ko lang to, guys. Okay, number 24. So kasi kapag ginawa natin guys, no, ginawa natin directly at t is equal to 10 and then we just substitute, no, s is equal to 10 cubed minus 6 times 10 squared minus 15 times 10 and then plus 7. Okay, so pag tinry mo i-evaluate yan, anong lalabas dyan guys? S is equal to S is equal to 257, no, feet. So as you can see, kung ganyan lang gagawin mo guys, no, you will just try to substitute, no, yung given na time t. So ang makikita mo, nasa choices yon, no, that is letter B. That is letter B. But that is incorrect. No, hindi yan yung sagot guys. Because ang sinasabi nito na at time equal to 10 seconds, the position of the particle is at 257 feet from the reference or from the datum. No? Meaning to say, meron kasi siyang reference point. No? From that reference point, 257 feet na yung yung location ng particle. Okay? Nasanay kasi tayo guys na yung S is yung displacement. So, may mga ganong case, no? Especially yung discussion natin with constant acceleration, no? Yung ano ba yung mga equation natin doon? Yung S is equal to VOT plus 1/2 AT squared. Diba? Yung mga given na equation before. So, sanay tayo na yung S is defined as the displacement. Okay lang naman yon. But that is only true if the position of the particle at time is equal to 0 is 0. Okay lang ba? So, eto yung S, pwede siyang maging displacement. Okay? Kapag, if at time is equal to 0, nag-start siya sa 0 position. Okay lang ba? No? So, kapag time is equal to 0, S equal to 0, mean to say, yung datum mo, yung mismong initial point. Okay? So, that is the time we can say that S is equal to displacement. But in this scenario kasi, no, try nating i-evaluate, no, at initial point or at time is equal to 0, nasa saan ba yung position ng particle? Nasa 0 ba siya, guys? So, try natin. So, 0 cubed minus 6 times 0 squared minus 15 times 0 plus 7. So, as you can see, yung position niya is what? 7, guys, oh. Okay? So, ano yung sinasabi nito, guys, na yung reference niya, no, yung pinagbasihan niya ng measurement is hindi yung initial position niya. Okay? So, ang nangyari dyan is that, kumbaga, ito yung reference line. Okay? So, at time is equal to 0, andi dito siya. So, andi dyan siya, no? So, meron na siyang S measurement na 7. So, at time is equal to 10, so, andi dito na siya. So, with respect sa reference, 257 na siya. Okay? So, ang tinatanong yung displacement, ito. Yung change in position. So, we will denote that as delta S. Okay? So, from that, alam mo na dapat yung sagot, no? Yung displacement niya talaga. So, sana guess yung sinabi ko, no? So, we can say that this one is ano na lang, position at 10. Ito, position at 0. So, therefore, yung delta S ay equal sa position niya at 10 seconds minus yung position niya initially. So, that is 257. Okay, minus 7. So, that the displacement is 250 feet. Gets ba yun, guys? Okay, no? So, sana nag-gets nyo yung idea, no? Na magiging displacement lang yung S if nasatisfy natin tong condition na to, no? na yung reference mo is yung initial point. But if hindi ganon, so we just have to manually calculate yung difference to solve for the displacement. Okay? So that is the solution 1. Lagyan natin solution 1. So another solution na pwede natin gamitin, no, which is mas direct to the point. Solution 2. So ito mas direct to the point, no, kahit hindi mo na iniisip-isip pa yan, is ito, no. Dito tayo magagaling sa velocity equation. So kunin natin to, guys. Di ba ito, nakuha naman na natin to, yung velocity equation. So mag-solve tayo backwards. So we know that V is equal to ds over dt lang din. Okay, so we just have to cross multiply, no? ds is equal to 3t squared minus 12t minus 15. Okay, and then dt. So what we need to do is to just integrate both sides, no? So from this case, ang tinatanong kasi, yung ano niya, no? Yung displacement niya at time equal to 10 seconds. So we start from 0 to 10. So what we will be solving here is yung displacement na directly. No, katulad ng ginawa natin kanina. Sana yan? Ito. No, ayan. No, directly nakuha mo na yung displacement. Okay? So sana nag-guess nyo yung idea, no? So kung ganito yung gagamitin natin, no, yung velocity equation, pag velocity equation yung ginagamit, so pwede natin siyang integrate directly, no, from initial to final. And then ang makuha natin, of course, yung displacement na, no. So that is S ay equal sa, integrate nyo, guys, kayo nang bahala dyan. Okay, so in this case, no, nakuha natin, this one is 250 feet. So yan, mas direct to the point. So sinasabi nito, class, na from time is equal to 0 up to time is equal to 10 seconds, no, nagkaroon siya ng change in position na 250 feet. Okay, so nagets ba yun, guys? So yun lang sinasabi ko dito na you just have to be extra careful, especially to this one. No, baka pag ginawa mo, nag-substitute ka lang, so mali yun, no? So you have to check, no, yung position niya at time is equal to 0. Okay, so okay na yun. So next na tayo, number 25. So number 25 ang tinatanong, determine the particle's total distance. Okay, so tinatanong dito, distance. Okay, so how do we check if distance is equal to displacement? Diba, ang check natin is itong velocity equation. Okay, diba, ang ginawa na natin to kanina, diba? Check mo yung velocity equation. Kapag at certain time t, nagkaroon ng change in sign ng velocity, meaning to say, nagkaroon ng change in direction ng motion. So, try to evaluate, no? So, pwede mong ilagay sa calculator mo yan, 3x squared minus 12x minus 15. So, try mo at x or at t is equal to 0. So, initial velocity, lagyan nga natin, no? So, at t is equal to 0, velocity is negative 15. So, umaatras siya initially, no? So, next, at t is equal to 1, velocity is negative 24. So, okay lang. Negative pa rin. No, backward pa rin yung motion niya. So, at 2, negative 27. At 3, negative 24. At 4, negative 50. Lagyan muna natin dito. At 4, negative 15. So, okay pa, no? So, take note, ang tinitingnan natin is up to 10 seconds, no? Kasi yun yung kailangan natin, eh. So, at 5, ilan na? Naging 0. So, parang tumigil siya, no? At 5 seconds. So, at 6, naging 21. Okay, so we can stop na dyan, no? Kasi nakikita na natin na initially, no, from 0 to up to 5 seconds, no, valid pa siya na siya is moving in one direction, no, puro paatras. But after 5 seconds, no, and then kapag tinry mo pang substitute up to 7, 8, 9, 10, so makukuha mo dun glass is puro positive velocity. So meaning to say, bigla na siyang umaabante after 6 seconds. So meaning to say, nagkaroon ng change in direction. So we cannot say that, or we can say that distance is not equal to displacement, no? Yan yung ating conclusion, na hindi equal yung distance sa displacement. Okay? So ngayon, kung hindi sila equal, dito nalalabas yung sinasabi ko kanina na special approach, no? Kung gusto natin kunin yung distance. So, para kasi nangyari dyan, guys, is ganito siguro, no? So, let's say, for example, ito yung datum natin. O yung reference line. So, di ba ito yung initial position niya, no? Naka 7 pa siya. Okay? So, initially, umaatras siya, no? So, ganito yung motion niya. 1 second, 2 second, 3 second, 4 second, and then 5 second, and then afterwards, ano na siya? Umabante na siya, no? 6 second, 7 second, 8 second, 9 second, and then 10 seconds. Andi dito na siya. So, nag-guess nyo ba yung nangyari, guys? No? Kaya nung mineasure from the datum, di ba ito yung datum? Nung mineasure siya papunta dito, ang value niya is 257. Ganun yung nangyari. Okay? So, that's why kung i-measure natin yung displacement, ito nga yun. Ayan o. Displacement na equal sa 250. Okay? Kaso ang tinatanong kasi, yung distance. So, what is the distance, guys? Yung distance is ito. Yung total na dinaan niya talaga. So, ayan yun. Kung umatras siya, saka nung etong umabante siya. So, yan yung distance. Or total distance. Okay? So, ang nangyayari kasi class, kapag displacement, no, nagka-cancel out itong umaatras, saka itong portion na umabante, no, na of the same length. So, nag-cancel itong sa taas, saka sa baba. Kaya ito yung natira. Okay? So, how do we solve for the distance? So, yan. Present ko na siguro yung solution, guys. So, solution 1. Okay, so ito yung solution 1, guys. So, dito tayo mag-start sa velocity equation. So, ano nga ulit yun? Copy ko na lang to, guys. Okay, yan. Yan tayo mag-start. So, still same process. This one is ds over dt. 3t squared minus 12t minus 15. Same pa rin. Cross multiply. 3t squared minus 12t minus 15. And then dt. Okay? So, now we just have to integrate. Okay, from 0 to 10. O, asan dyan yung difference? Wala palang difference eh. So, ito yung difference, guys, no? Kapag ang gusto natin kunin is yung distance, okay? Kapag distance yung gusto natin kunin, so, di ba, ang gusto natin is ikunin lahat nung naging ano niya, movement niya, no, regardless of umaatras ba siya or umaabante. Dito nga kasi nung umaatras negative, nung umaabante naging positive. So that's why nung pinagsama sila nag-cancel out. So dito, regardless kung umaatras or umaabante, gusto natin siyang i-measure. So ang gagawin natin is maglagay dito tayo ng absolute value. Okay, para ang gagawin niya puro yung positive value lang nung ano niya, motion yung kukunin. Or rather, yung mga negative gagawin yung positive na ipa-plus niya para walang mag-cancel out. Gets ba 'yan? So take the absolute value. Yun yung gagawin. Lalagay lang tayo ng absolute value sa loob. So sige guys, no? Pag ganyan, pwede naman na si calculator 'yan. So ilan yung ano? Yung distance. So ang problema lang diyan guys, no, there are certain cases na matagal i-integrate ni calculator, no, pag may absolute let's try, no, sa calculator natin. Yung equation ba na yan is kaya niyang ma-solve na mabilis? Okay, so let's see. So yun. So lalo na kapag yung equation mahirap, no? Complex masyado yung equation. So tumatagal yung ano, yung pag-i-integrate niya pag may absolute value. But in this case, no, may lumabas na sa calculator ko. So this one is 450 feet. Okay, so yun na yung sagot. Okay, yan yung total distance traveled. Okay? So, ano yung solution 2? So, ito yung solution 2, no? Solution 2 is to break down, no? Kunin natin yung time kung saan umaatras lang siya, tapos kunin natin yung time na umaabante lang siya. Okay? So, kumbaga, paghihiwalayin natin yung pagbabago ng direction ng motion niya. 'Di ba nangyari? Umaatras, as umaabante. So, gawin natin, kunin natin yung distance niya or yung displacement niya nung umaatras siya. Tapos kunin natin yung displacement niya nung umaabante siya. Tapos take the absolute value kasi pag umaatras, ang makukuha mo diyan negative. Pag umaabante, yung positive. So take mo yung absolute value ng dalawa na yon. Saka mapapag-plusin. So yun na yung total yun na yung total distance. So para makuha natin yun class, ganito gagawin natin, no. Hahanapin natin kung saan nag-zero. Okay, etong ano na to, velocity equation. So take note, ang reference is velocity equation ha. Kasi kung yan yung velocity equation class, pwede natin kasi i-graph yan eh. No? Kasi for example, ito yung graph. Ito yung time t, dito yung velocity. So di ba initially, ano nangyari? Negative siya, no? Ayan, no? Pwede nating i-plot to guys, oh. No? Parang coordinates yan. So 0, negative 15. Parang dito yan. Parang ganito nangyari dyan guys, no? Okay, so ito yung graph or ito yung equation na v is equal to 3t squared minus 12t minus 15. So ito yung time is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then yung 5 nag-0, di ba? Tapos ito yung 6, 7, 8, and so on. Okay? So as you can see, no, from time is equal to 0, papuntang 5, the velocity is negative. And then, anytime after 5 seconds, the velocity is positive. So, ibig sabihin, dito siya umaatras, no? From 0 to 5, umaatras siya. And then, from 5 to 10, umaabante siya. So, yun yung ano natin, cutting point natin, kumbaga. Pero, ano lang to, graphical solution, no? Hindi tayo sure kung at 5 lang ba. So, ang correct solution dito, guys, is to solve, no, kung saan nag-0 yung velocity, no? Sana na-guess nyo, no? Kasi di ba yun yung naging cutting point, no? Nung nag-pass siya nung naging 0 yung velocity, that is the time na nag-change siya from being negative, naging positive. So, yun yung reasoning kung bakit kailangan natin hanapin yung zeros neto. Okay? So, ang gagawin natin, hahanapin natin yung zeros. No? Kailan nag-zero yung velocity. Pag ito nag-zero, so since that is quadratic equation, so we will be able to solve two possible values of time t. So, kailan magsi-zero ang velocity, guys? Okay. So, from my calculator, so ang lumabas that is at time is equal to 5 seconds and then at time is equal to negative 1 second. Okay? So, yun yung 2 times na magsi-zero yung velocity. So, of course, this one is illogical, no? So, meaning to say, meron lang isang point, no, nadadaan siya sa zero. Okay? So, kindly take note na kapag dumadaan nga kasi sa zero, yun yung time na nag-change siya ng sign, no? Is either from being negative to positive or from positive papuntang negative. So, meaning to say, ang time interval natin will be from 0 to 5 and then from 5 to 10. So, ganyan tayo mag-i-integrate, guys, no? So, kindly take note, ginagawa lang natin ito kasi nga, there are certain cases na nagtatagal yung calculator kapag may absolute value, no? In this case kasi mabilis lang. Pero there are cases kasi na pag naglag ka ng absolute value dyan, tumatagal. So dito, hindi natin siya i-absolute value, no? Integrate lang natin siya ng magkahiwalay. So paano? So copy na natin siguro ito. Copy ko to, guys. So tatanggalin ko to, di ba? So lagay natin dito. This one is 4. T is equal to 0 to T is equal to 5. So gagawin natin 0 to 5 lang to, guys. 0 to 5. And then tawagin natin yung displacement na yan is S1. So how much is yung S1, guys? 0 to 5. So we are expecting a negative value, no? Kasi nga at that time interval, umaatras pa siya. 'Di ba? Umaatras siya from 0 to 5. So we are expecting a negative value here. So dapat yan mas mabilis kasi walang absolute value. So that is negative 100. Okay? So next, for t is equal to 5 to t is equal to 10. So same, integrate. So papalitan lang natin yung limits. Okay, so this one is magiging from 5 to 10 na. And then tawagin natin tong distance na to as S2. So ilan yung S2, guys? No, nung time na siya is positive velocity naman. Okay, so in that case, this one is 350. Okay? So para makuha yung total distance, okay, so that is just simply the sum, no? Nung yung pinaghiwalay nating distances na to, no? Pa-plus lang natin siya. But of course, no, neglecting the negative sign or by just taking the absolute value. Okay? Absolute value of S1 plus absolute value of S2. Okay, no, ine-neglect natin yung pagiging negative. So that is what equals sa 100 plus 350. So therefore, the total distance now is the same now, 450 feet. Okay? So, sana nagets yung ginawa natin, guys, no? So first approach, ulitin lang natin. is to just take the integral, no, from the whole time interval 0 to 10, but including the absolute sign, no, doon sa loob ng integral. The next approach is solving for the time kung saan nagsi-0. And then yun yung magiging cutting point. So in this case, nag-0 siya at 5 seconds. So therefore, we integrate from 0 to 5 and then 5 to 10. Okay, so one of the distance na masolve natin must be in negative. So we will just neglect yung pagiging negative because that just indicates na umaatras siya. So we take the sum of the absolute values. So therefore, makuha na natin yung total distance. So ganun siya, guys. Okay? So this must be our final answer. So that is correct, no? For this one, correct. And then this one is also correct, 250. Okay, no? So lastly, ito madadali na to, guys. Calculate the particle's average speed saka average velocity. So dito tayo, 26. Okay, average speed, no? So, nagawa na natin to last time, how to solve for the average speed. That is the total distance, okay, over the total time. Okay, so that is what? 450. Okay, over 10 seconds. So this one is 45 feet per second. Okay, next, 27. Ang tinatanong is average velocity. So this one is the ano naman, total displacement. Okay, over total time. So this one is ano naman, 250. Okay, over 10 seconds. So this one is 25 feet per second. Okay, di ba yun yung difference na between speed and velocity? So yung ginagamit, distance, ginagamit, displacement. Okay, so let us check if you are correct. So of course, tama yan, guys. Check and then check. Okay, so I think that ends, no, our discussion, no. Even though kukonti lang yung problems natin, pero ang tagal kasi nga mahalaga na i-discuss natin, especially yung concept, no. Kasi kapag ganyan katulad nito, no, paano kung ito yung lumabas sa board exam tapos substitute ka lang ng substitute, no? Pag nag-substitute ka lang, ayan, marami kang magiging cause of error. So that's why we have to discuss this one ng paulit-ulit, guys, no? And different approach ng solution. Okay, so yun, guys, on our next video, so we will be discussing about motion curves naman, no? So kasi ito kasing mga equation na to, pwede mo siyang i-plot, 'di ba? Katulad ng ginawa natin kanina dito. Ito, yung velocity times the time graph na to. So what if instead na equation, no, yung ibigay, so what if yung motion curve yung presented? So how do we solve, no, for the displacement, velocity, acceleration? So yun yung next topic natin, guys. So thank you, guys, for watching. So I hope na nag-guess niyo yung topic natin, and then God bless, guys.